Okay, so you asked the questions and now it's my time to answer them. So first question, do you have a formal CS degree? And yes, I do. So let me show it to you. This is my BSc Honors Computer Science degree that I completed from the University of Calcutta. If you take a closer look, you will see that there are rust marks starting to appear on this paper. I should get this laminated or something. And this is my master's degree certificate right here, my MCA degree. As you can see, the spelling on this certificate is spelled wrong. But I don't worry about that because nobody ever asked for this certificate anyway. None of the interviews I have ever attended ask for proof of these certificates to be seen or whatever. They just take my word for it on the resume. So it feels nice showing this certificate to you guys as a way of compensating the money that I spent on getting these certificates and spent 6 years on it. So second question by Zafender, how much do you earn? Okay, so let me answer this question because I have been dodging this question for way too long. And I have three income streams. First one is freelancing, of course, you guys know it. Second stream is Patreon, where I currently make $17 a month. And the third one is my YouTube memberships. Now, from YouTube memberships, I have two active members as of the date of recording this video. So this might be like 20 rupees to 25 rupees a month that I get from YouTube. But from my freelancing, let me take you back to 2022 salary, which I last shared in my resume video, which was 37,500. From that time to 2023, 31st December, I actually received three increments at different points in the tenure of my job at BizSpice. And all these increments were given at random times because I was able to get the tasks done and my boss appreciated it. Shout out Bhavesh sir. So the first increment that kicked in, my salary was 37,500 and the increment was 5,000 rupees. So it went up to 42,500. Then the next increment kicked in another 5,000 rupees or 5,500 rupees. So my salary went up to 48,000 rupees a month. And then the final increment that kicked in before I quit the 9 to 5 job was 2,000 rupees. So my salary was an even 50,000 each month that I was getting from BizSpice Private Limited. So after that, I quit my job on 31st December and 1st January 2024, which is this year, I started freelancing. And I could tell you that my income is never stagnant. Every month I make a different amount of money, which has nothing to do with what I made the previous month or what I'm gonna make the next month. So if you take a look at the graph, it goes like this, up and down and up and down. Sometimes I make more, sometimes I make less. So keep that number in mind. So the average salary that I have made during my freelancing time is 80,000 rupees a month. I calculated it and this is the number, the average that I'm making right now. It can go up or go less in the future. We will see how that works out. But sharing that information, I might need to share additional context is that February of 2024 was my worst month when it comes to freelancing. I only made 5,000 rupees. And the best month in my freelancing journey so far was June of 2024, where I made 4,80,000 rupees in a single month. So, and don't bother tagging the income tax department. All of the taxes have been paid for. I'm a taxpayer citizen, just so you know. So 4,80,000 was the highest I made in a month and 5,000 was the lowest that I made in a month. So you can now imagine the graph how it must go with my income. So that's how it is. I hope my answer satisfies your question. And from this point onwards, whenever on live streams I get asked this question, I'm gonna throw 80,000 at you. So you may have to get this context that yeah, it is an average. It's not a stagnant 80,000 every month. All right, so next question. Okay, next question by Roop. I could not think of a better question as I am tired right now, so here goes. What and when was the first electronic gadget you used? For me, it was a Chinese ripoff of an NES and a Game Boy console, fun and simpler times. Yeah, same for me. I think in 2002, this console was out in the market, this Chinese ripoff, and it costed like 800 rupees in that time, which was a big amount back then. So yeah, same thing for me. There was no mobile phones. Mobile phones were way later into my teenage life. So first gadget, I would say, yeah, the same thing as you, Chinese ripoff of an NES and Game Boy. Have you tried Linux? What distros? Were you ever required to use Linux at your job? I was required to use Linux at my job, but not by my employer. It was the tech stack that we were working with that I was unable to get configured on a Windows machine. I wanted to configure it on Windows, but it just would not work. That is why I had to dual boot my laptop, this one. I use Linux distro, Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. That's the version I'm using now. Have you used Linux? Yeah, of course. EC2 instances, pretty much I get it for a Linux installation on them. Whether it is DigitalOcean, whether it is Hostinger, anything like that, I try for a Linux distribution on my servers. Third question, what is the most interesting aspect of technology for you? Not just the domains of computer science, could be anything. I think the most interesting aspect of technology is the ability of tech to change our lives and provide us value, whether it is entertainment, whether it is scientific research, whether it is medical capabilities to heal people and cure diseases. So, this is why I am fascinated by tech. What made you get into software development or tech? And why did you start making YouTube videos? Okay, so these are two different questions. The reason I got into software development and tech is because of the gaming background that I had. I used to play a lot of games in my childhood, and which is why I was fascinated with the machine that I was working that provided me with so many hours of entertainment, and I just wanted to dive deeper, which is why I got into software development. Now, by the time in 2017, when I was completing my master's degree, I saw the potential of web development, and which is why I got into it. I haven't really explored the other domains of computer science, like, hardware or networking or chips or processors, whatever. I haven't really explored into those, but I should at some point. Next question is, why did you start making YouTube videos? I think the reason I started making YouTube videos is a way to pass time. Just I had a lot of time on my hands back in 2022 when I was living in this house, which is my original house in Kolkata, and I started making tutorials. I used to work with Shopify APIs a lot at the time. And when I was stuck with some kind of roadblocker or whatever, I used to go to YouTube to search solutions. And I saw that nobody was really covering Shopify APIs in depth, which is why I started doing it. Whatever knowledge I had gained at that point, I thought that I was 5 years into web dev at that point. So basically, that makes me qualified to do tutorial videos at that point. So I spun up Laravel basic installation. I spun up a basic Shopify app and I started building functionalities right in front of you. Like 60 videos I posted regarding Shopify. And then the support that I started getting from the Shopify community and software developers who were interested in Shopify motivated me to keep posting and posting and posting. So, which is why, as a natural progression of that, we are here. Roop, I hope my answers are enough for your questions. Next question. When did you marry and how you met your wife? Okay, so my marriage is a 100% strict arranged marriage situation. Me and my wife were not allowed to talk to each other until our parents did. And then we got like 10 minutes window in a temple that we could speak to each other and ask questions or whatever. And then basically we had to say yes or no. And given that you asked this question, there is a private video on my channel of my wedding, and I'm going to make it public. The link should be up here or up here, somewhere around here. The card should be popping up by now. So you can go watch it when you have time. And when did you marry? 17th January this year. So basically, this is a way for me to remember my anniversary each year that I have to make sure that I don't forget it. So I keep parroting to myself 17th January of each year. So yeah, this year I got married. I hope my answer is enough for you. Darna Ramu asks, do you travel a lot? If so, what are some of the best places you have visited and some of the hidden gems that you have visited? I wouldn't say that I have visited some kind of hidden gems. I pretty much go the standard places wherever I visit. Kolkata, I might know a couple places, but those are not hidden gems. I would not call it that. Bangalore, I know so many places in Bangalore. But then again, you would have to be with me there. Like there are so many areas in Bangalore, like Kormangla, BTM Layout, Jayanagar, Dasarahalli, Peenya, Jalahalli, Banshankari. There are so many different areas in Bangalore that have their own unique personality, like HSR Layout or Bellandur or Marathalli or Whitefield. Like you have to be there yourselves. I don't think I can explain these aspects of Bangalore to you. And do you travel a lot? No, I don't. I would not say that. I have traveled like Goa, Jammu and Kashmir, and you mean Vaishno Devi. I have traveled to Digha. I have traveled to Puri. I have traveled to Chennai. But then again, these travels were at different points in my life. At this age, I think in the last 4 years, I haven't traveled so much. I do have the potential to, given I'm a freelancer and I can work from anywhere, but for some reason, I still don't. Let me hit my midlife crisis. Only then we will see where I go. Okay, so next question by Ani. Meetup when? I think we can do a meetup when I reach subscriber base of enough number that I can pinpoint which state or which city most of my subscribers live in. Right now, I speak in English, so basically, it's an international audience that I have. India and Pakistan are the two countries where my videos get watched the most, but I still need a city to pinpoint that it would be favorable for you guys to travel to and meet me. So get me to a higher number of subscribers, whatever that is, and we can plan a meetup then. Definitely. Okay, so Spidey YouTube asks, what's your favorite video game? Now, before I answer my favorite video game, I want to answer the question, what are my favorite hidden gems in video games? Games that I played that I found were bangers but did not get much recognition from the media. And I'm just going to put up some screenshots of these games. You can check these out if you want. These are very good games. I can attest to those. And then, if I talk about my favorite video game right now, I played God of War Ragnarok just a few days ago. I completed it. I liked it. I feel like 70% of the story's potential was reached, but there was still to be explored. And other than that, the GTA series, Saints Row series, Forza series, and you know the standard games that get released every year, like an iteration after iteration. I used to play FIFA 2007 a lot because FIFA 2007's mechanics were out of this world. It felt very natural when I played FIFA 2007 version. 2008, they changed the mechanics a little and it was tough getting used to, so I basically stuck with FIFA 07. That was the last FIFA I played. I also played cricket games, specifically Brian Lara International Cricket 2007. Man, 2007 really was a golden age for games. And pretty much after that, whatever cricket version has released, like Ashes Cricket or Don Bradman Cricket, they just can't match the standard. And if you are an OG gamer, I hope that you have played Brian Lara Cricket 2005 because 2005 version was something in on itself. It's a completely different cricket game. If you get the chance to play that game, please do. And other favorite video games, I would say the standard, Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, and all those series. If I sat here making a list, it would take forever. Anyway, I hope that answers your question, Spidey YouTube. Next question, how was college for you? And what's the wildest thing you ever did during those years? My college was BSc honors and master's degree in Kolkata and in Bangalore, respectively. So while I was going to college from my home in Kolkata, THK Jain College, I didn't really used to hang out that much. I used to leave my house at 9:30 a.m. and I was back at my home at 5:30 p.m. I used to just do my classes, do a little bit of chit chat, and just leave for home. I did not hang around that much, did not walk around or hang around with my friends around Kolkata that much. They used to do it, but I didn't. So it was pretty chilled out for me. I did not regret that because my school life was pretty hectic, as most of you can relate that 11th and 12th standards syllabuses are pretty hectic. So I was kind of cooling it off when it came to BSc degree. For my master's degree, I went to Bangalore and stayed in a boys' hostel, and that was so much fun. If any of you is watching this video living in a boys' hostel, I hope that you know that you are living the best years of your life. You may not realize it now, but when it's time to say goodbye to your friends, that's when it will hit you. But my hostel experience was such a great experience. I made so many friends, different type of friends from different backgrounds, different states, different countries even. And one of the wildest things that ever happened was the Holi celebration in one of the MCA years, like 2015, I would say. We had a drum of water that we entirely filled up with Old Monk and ice cubes. And everybody from the hostel drank from it. Everybody got drunk and we partied, and songs were playing at the highest volume. The songs could be heard across all of the hostel. Everybody was puking the next day. I feel like that party was a pretty wild thing to do. And another thing that was wild was the cricket tournament that we used to have in our college on a basketball ground. Yes, it sounds funny, but that's how it was. So we defeated everybody in our second year and became the champions of the cricket tournament, and the celebrations of that was wild. So I feel like these are the two experiences I can remember when it comes to wildest things I ever did in college. I used to sing, I used to dance, I used to participate in cultural activities, uh, like in all possible ways that I could, because I realized that this is my last chance at doing these things. Once I'm out of college, like these things are behind me. There is no going back and reliving those moments. So yeah, that's how what my college experience was. I do miss hostel life sometimes. Yeah. Next question by Matrix Modwadia. I hope I said that name correctly. Future of automation testing. I would say it's good. I would say it is good. I feel like I can't speak much on automation testing future because this is not my primary domain and I haven't researched jobs or career or market in this domain. So I don't think I can speak on that. I'm sorry, Matrix. Next question. How to overcome guilt-free entertainment, which is killing productivity? You have to think about the repercussions of your guilt-free entertainment or guilt-filled entertainment. What is the worst that can happen to you? You have to think about that. Is it like you will score less marks in exam? Is it that you will fail an exam? Is it that you are a working professional and your manager will shout at you? Or is it that you will be at a threat of losing your job? Or being a freelancer, is it that you will be in a position of losing a client? So these things you have to think about. Like what is the worst that could happen? And then factor that in. And if you can't deal with that, just close your entertainment and go back to work. That's how at least my brain works. Whenever I am consuming entertainment and I feel like it is cutting into my productivity time, I just kill off all the entertainment to escape that guilt. If I want entertainment, I want it guilt free. I hope that answers your question, random. S. Khan asks, have you built a startup or a part of it? And my answer to that would be technically, but those startups have hired me. So I don't think I have built a startup. I have worked for startups that is in the building phase. But then again, I can also say, yes, I have, because it is me who is developing the product myself, which is what the startup will work off of. So yeah, yes and no. Because at the end of the day, I don't own a share in the startup. I'm just an employee. I can get fired any moment. So yes and no, both. What it takes to build a startup, I think sacrifice. You would have to sacrifice a lot of things when it comes to building a startup, like your mental health, your availability, your schedule, your personal relationships, your personal commitments. I think a lot of money would be spent on your side, whether it is running personal errands or cleaning your car or whatever. And then you would have to be comfortable with no revenue for at least a year, because that's what the average experience of an entrepreneur is. They don't make any money in their first year or whatever. It only starts to rake in their second or third or fourth year, sometimes a decade. So your resilience to not having money would be something that you have to have, which is why rich people can build startups easier compared to poor people, because we can't afford to be broke, isn't it? Rich people can invest money, take money from the trust fund or their parents or whatever, lose all of it, and still be able to bounce back. And middle class people and poor people don't have that privilege. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Samarik3599. Next question by Oshino Meme ZB3FK. You okay, bro? I love C++, by the way. Yes, bro. All good. Next question by You Only Live Once. Will you go to Nikil Kamar's podcast if he invites? And the answer is hell yes, I would. Because his podcast is so influential, I feel like somebody like me should go there and set the record straight about AI development or the future of tech sector. I'm tired of this stupidity by other influencers who go to these podcasts and spread the fear, being like AI can take your job, AI can take your creative jobs. I have made so many videos already on these topics. So I feel like it's time that I go on these podcasts and set the record straight. Speak from a logical perspective, speak from a objective perspective, and not just parroting off of what the general mass media is saying. So Nikhil Kamath, if you're watching, please invite me. And to the viewers that are watching this video, if you can get me to a high subscriber number, please do. So I can get in the eyes of these influential people and they actually invite me, because I'm dying to go on these podcasts, really. I hope that answers your question. You only live once. Next question by Bugzok. How do I become a professional skid? I have to be honest here. I looked up what a professional skid or just a skid is, and I could not make out what you mean by this question. What is a professional skid? Please provide me additional context, Bugzog. So yeah, sorry about that. Next question by Dot Uwu. Do you like Bondita? When I was in fifth grade, I switched to tea from Bondita, bro. Since then, I haven't had it. Next question by Yugal Kishore 557. How to build career as tech influencer? Bro, I am trying to figure that out myself. What makes you think I have figured it out that I could give out tips on? It's only my third year as a tech influencer, and my career has only taken off this year. So let me put the pieces together and give me some time. Maybe then I can share some tips. But yeah, this is too early for me to answer it. Sorry about that, Yugal. Next question. SM Rushan 2654. What do you need to get a full stack software development job abroad, like in European countries, as an Indian? And my answer to that would be, why do you need to go abroad anyway? Why don't you stay in India and try to score clients that are European or American? That way you get to stay here and you get paid good money, and basically that's all you need, right? And you get to stay with your parents. Why would you decide to move abroad? Is my question. Why would you decide to move to European countries anyway? Your living cost is gonna go up. You're gonna pay a lot more in taxes. So this is a point where I feel like visiting European countries is fine, but living there as an Indian, I don't think it's feasible. I much rather stay in India and work with clients in Canada or USA or European countries. That way I get paid nicely and I get to stay here with my parents. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Next question by GGCIPOT. Do you or have you watched anime and cartoons? And again, I'm gonna put up some screenshots. These are the things I have watched. So I hope that answers your question. And apart from these screenshots, I have watched a lot more, like Augie and the Cockroaches. The Hindi dub version was so funny. Like Shah Rukh Khan and Sunny Deol voiceovers were so funny. Shin Chan was funny when it was uncensored. It's a shame that parents complained and got the cartoon censored. It's a complete shame. I used to watch an anime called Kochi Kame. I don't know if any of you remember that. It was so fun watching that. It was so funny, that show. Then, and lots of others basically. So answering your question, yes, I have watched anime and cartoons. Okay, next question by JXSS6919. How to live? I think you need Barney Stinson in your life, bro. He can teach you how to live. Otherwise, bro, I'm not the person to ask this question. I'm sorry. Next question by Green Apple 41. This is one question I am most confused with. I'm currently in 5th sem. Exam is getting over now. Done nothing with DSA and Dev. From where to start now? Confused as hell. Please help. You have to start with DSA. 100%. Forget Dev for now. Just start with DSA and work your way up towards Dev. Dev, you have to eventually do, and 6 months I would think is a semester time. So 6 months is enough. 4 months, give it to DSA, and 2 months for Dev. You should be good. I hope that answers your question, Green Apple. Next question by Algorithm Soft. Do you have car? If you have, which car? Just asking, don't take serious, bhaiya. Why would I take serious? This is one of the most casual questions ever. So I have a Tata Punch 2023 model. I'm going to put a photo of that car up about now. And yeah, it's also in my Instagram the day that I bought it. I hope that answers your question, Algorithm Soft. And Double O Nhar asks, hobbies aside from coding. I play cricket, which is the primary reason I am in Kolkata right now. I have to attend a cricket tournament this Sunday that I will play in. So that's one hobby. I have a guitar in Jharkhand where I live. I should start practicing, but it's a it's a complicated thing. I game and I do this content creation thing, so I don't find much time, but I should put some time away for my guitar. So these are two hobbies I can think of. Gym is no longer a hobby. It's more like a discipline thing. I do go to the gym, but I don't consider that as a hobby. I've been going to the gym for 8 years at this point, And now it has become more of a discipline thing rather than a hobby thing. Gym, cricket, and guitar. These three are the things that I do aside from coding. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so now I'm going to move to Instagram where I posted a story and some people responded with their questions. So, first question from Aman Kumar 2831. What is your background like? Where do you live? And how was you and your childhood? Aman bro, I'm not going to dox myself. So, what's my background? I would say middle class. Yeah, middle class would be a fair statement. My tuition for MCA costed 3,73,000 rupees, and for that, I had to ask my father to take a bank loan. So now you can judge what our financial situation was back then. And where do I live? I live in Howrah, West Bengal. And how was my childhood? I would say it was pretty average childhood. I had a computer at my house that I used to play the shit out of. I used to play so much games in it, which was my pastime. I used to go to school just like any other kid. And I watched cartoons, TV serials, and like I used to go to the ground to play cricket with my friends. So yeah, pretty much standard, nothing special. So yeah, that was what my childhood was. Again, it is Aman Kumar asking when the first paycheck you got and what you did from it. Okay, the first paycheck that I ever got was 6,000 rupees a month, and I received 6,000 rupees, and I put away 500 rupees in a gym membership. The very first thing that I did. Obviously, it was rent and utilities, but that was in the next month that I had to contribute with my roommates. But yeah, the day that I got my paycheck, I went to a gym, paid 500 rupees for my membership. Okay, next question by Ratik Grover. PC versus PS5. I would say PC. Obviously, it does cost a lot more, but then again, the utilities are a lot more. On PS5, I cannot code or whatever, but on PC, I can code and I can play games and I can do pretty much anything that I want. And again, PS5 is quite expensive. It is like 54,000 rupees if you want to get the digital version with a game pre-packaged in it. And then again, if I buy a PS5, then I have to worry about jailbreaking it. Then I have to worry about the cost of the games that are going up for PS5. It's like 4,000 rupees for a digital copy, which makes no sense to me to buy. So I have to spend 50,000 rupees for the base console, and then I have to spend more money for games. Is something that doesn't really make sense. So I'm going to stick with PC and play my games that I get for free on Epic. So yeah, PC. Next question by Argan1. I am building a Chrome extension. I need some tips on how someone could promote it and about SaaS. I think this question lacks a lot of context. So Argan1, maybe we can talk on DM or you can come to my Discord. We can chat there. So let me know. This question is an incomplete question, I feel like. Next question by Piyush Tripathi. What do you think about startup? क्या आप भी कोई startup कर रहे हैं? I like the startup culture. You get to learn a lot of things. Yes, you have to work harder than an MNC job. Sometimes you have to work like 14 hours in startups. But I felt that it was fine for me. But I realized that it's not feasible for everybody or my audience for that matter. And if I have worked in any startup, yes, pretty much my entire career, I have worked in startups. And yeah, I hope that answers your question, Piyush Tripathi. You can watch my resume video. And in that video, I have discussed in detail my clients, my jobs, my salaries. So you can get a perspective from that video, Piyush. So I hope that answers your question. So next, I'm going to move to Twitter, where I shared a tweet where people responded with their questions. And first question is by I Love C++. Software development have a lot of money in it, but does it have happiness and a sense of satisfaction? That is such a subjective question, bro. A sense of happiness is very subjective. For me, I do find a sense of happiness in coding because I get to see what I build go out in the real world and provide value to customers. Therefore, I do have a sense of happiness in it. And satisfaction is pretty much along the same lines as happiness. I am happy with the money that I get paid, and I am happy with seeing the products that I build or the things that I build go out in the real world so quickly, given that I work for small companies. And yeah, I would say yes, but it's a me answer. It's not an objective answer. So you should find your own sense of happiness and the sense of satisfaction when it comes to you and your career. So I feel like you will find out when your time comes. Okay, so next question by Tushar. Is it better to specialize in one particular skill in depth or know a lot of skills but not specialize in one? Like one could be an extremely good web developer or just an average web plus average app dev. I feel like the latter situation is a lot better because it opens up your opportunities for jobs a lot better than being good in one thing. And also, if you put in so much time to be extremely good in one thing, I feel like you would expect a result for that. You would expect a reward for that. And if you don't end up getting it, it's gonna hurt you. Because obviously this is how the human mind is. Like we do things for money or we show up to jobs for money. And when people study a lot or put in a lot of time to hone their skills and just one skill, they do expect a reward for it. Now, I can't say that about you. I feel like you might be one of the exceptions, but I feel like this is what the general mindset is. We put in the time, we put in the effort in hopes of getting a reward for it. So, the latter situation of average web plus average app dev is a lot better. But that's just my opinion. Don't take it for granted. Okay, so that wraps up Twitter. Let's move to LinkedIn. And it is just one question that I got asked, which is Prince Kumar, who asked, how do you see core LLM design in India? And I don't know, Prince. I feel like OpenAI can crush you. Whatever you build, they're gonna build a competing tool in way less time because they have a lot of resources and money, and they can crush you with it. So this is just my opinion. I don't see a lot of scope in core LLM design in India or anywhere. That's just how I think. Don't take it for granted. I might be wrong, obviously. Okay, so these are all the questions that you guys asked. I hope I answered correctly or to a level that satisfied you. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.